You're watching Best of Business Class on Sky News Business.
Hi, I'm James Wilkinson and welcome to Business Class. Today's show is coming to you from London, which offers some of the world's most beautiful, luxurious and boutique hotels. London is home to some top-notch boutique and luxury hotels, found in modern skyscrapers, classic buildings and quaint townhouses. For a real London townhouse experience, stay at number 16 in South Kensington, which features 41 rooms alongside a courtyard restaurant called the Orangery that's one of the most picturesque in the city.
I always feel that if you're staying at number 16 in South Kensington, you feel like a Londoner in London, because number 16 is a series of stucco buildings. They're pure white and just around the corner from the museums and Kensington Gardens. And then once you're in the hotel, we have a series of rooms, and we felt it would be lovely to have summer in one room and winter in another room. But equally, you could look at it as day and night. Having this little succession of rooms with very different feels makes it more of an adventure. Then we walk through to the Orangery, and this room is light-filled, filled with art of course, and lots of flowers, and it leads on to our little gem of a garden at the back. It's such a hidden treasure. There's a length of view as you look from the Orangery right to the gazebo at the end of the garden. And that encapsulates a beautiful fish pond, which is planted with iris and water lilies. There's a sculpture and many fish that children just love to lie down and look at very closely. To create a successful garden, it's good to have architectural and sculptural features. For our sculpture, we have a wonderful slate circle by Tom Stogden, and that sits against a curtain of laurel and stands out quite beautifully. We also have mosaics, which are beneath the wooden arch, and they almost work like carpets within a garden. So we have the York stone and the pebbles, the mosaics and the slate. So all these different textures work together to make the garden very special. It's so wonderful to see so much nature right in the centre of South Kensington. The garden is a real sanctuary that works at any time of day. We wanted this room to reflect the garden. There should be a vividness and light about it, so the colours actually work very well and the two work together. The artworks are pieces that we've collected over the years, and 3 of them are actually Aboriginal. We have a spiky hedgehog, wonderful mythical cats, and we have one elephant that appears to be half elephant and half zebra. And presiding over the whole scene are Thelma and Louise. They're completely made out of papier-mâché. Number 16 is part of our townhouse collection. The bedrooms are light, airy and colourful, most of all comfortable. Every time you come and stay, it can be a different experience. At the front of the building, you're overlooking a tree-lined street, and at the back, the beautiful gardens of number 16 at Sumner Place. So staying here makes you feel as if you're a Londoner. You're part of that village feel of South Kensington, and it's a place to make your own.
One of the most storied hotels here is the Beaumont. We sat down with London restaurant legend Jeremy King to find out more. From a design standpoint, have you always wanted to do an Art Deco themed hotel?
No, I love the Art Deco period, but whether it's restaurants or hotels, I always react to the building. The building tells me the story. This had a story. It was built as a car park. I had to brief all my architect, interior designer, etc. on a Monday morning as to what the hotel was going to be, and I didn't know. I knew how I sort of lay it out, etc. 4 a.m. I said, God, it's so much easier if there's an existing history. So I invented the history, and hence, because it was a 26 building, not a lot happened in the UK of interest, but in America there was Prohibition. So the story of Jimmy Beaumont, a refugee, so to speak, from Prohibition and everything that entailed, opening up a small American-inspired hotel, and this is like a love letter to America in many ways. but not a museum of the 20s. It's a hotel which, if an American had owned and it had evolved. Of course, the truth of the matter, it was a car park. Truth of the matter, we demolished the whole thing behind the facade, but we pretended that we'd discovered it at the end of its life and refurbished it. As the Art Deco just suited the building, the building dictated it.
So most fictional characters are in books, and this fictional character ends up becoming a hotel.
It does, and the thing about it is that people believe the story. And I've embellished these stories. I talk about the fact that Scott Fitzgerald and Ernest Hemingway stayed here in the war, and people believe it. And I even have people who tell me their parents stayed here and after the war and so on. I'm in a dilemma. I don't know whether to tell them actually it was a car park, so they'd been sleeping in their car if that was the case.
There's not much of a story out of a car park, I think, is there, for a building.
I think people love storytelling, and I think people love belonging. I think when I walk into a hotel, I want to be Mr. King. Immediately. I want somebody to just show that they care about me. But the ultimate thing is, whether it's a restaurant or a hotel, if you build something and operate it as the place you would like to go and stay, then you have a chance of making it work.
And you're getting a lot of repeat guests. Obviously, some of their parents didn't stay here, but no. You are getting a lot of repeat guests here, aren't you?
Extraordinary number. We're primarily American and British, which is very gratifying, but it's great that we're now spreading our wings, and Australia's coming into play, South America. We've got a very good demographic, but I've got people who've stayed 60, 70, 80 times, and we've only been open 3.5 years. And
you're in a very a busy part of London. Mayfair, obviously well known for its luxury hotels as well, but you're a bit of a hidden gem here in Mayfair, aren't you? Well,
I always think that's a weakness at first and then a strength, and it might be the same with the restaurant. It's tucked away, but then people like discovery. Certain countries, people like to be told what to do. The British way is actually to almost foster a secret.
And it's turned into a great secret that's spread around a bit, obviously. And how do you then maintain that clientele to get them coming back 70, 80 nights?
Mainly through not being greedy. There's always a discussion with the investors, but Yanis has embraced my idea, is that you don't do dynamic pricing. There's nothing more irritating than going to your hotel in January and, for instance, being quoted £300 for your room, and then when you ask to come back to the same room in May, that it's £900, and if you want to come back in June, it's £1,500. You'd never do it in a restaurant. You wouldn't tell people what the price of steak was depending on the night of the week that you go to it, and that's what happens in hotels, which means you don't foster loyalty because people buy on price. In the same way with an airline, it becomes very difficult to trust and always fly with an airline if the price varies. So we have high season, mid-season, low season, but you kind of know what you're going to pay, and that affords people. We have a lot who will come 6, 8, 10 times a year already, so that's the foundation.
And you do a few more things here in the hotel, where you do give away things to guests. Yeah. Obviously, you've got free movies in the rooms, and a big movie library at that. You've got some amazing chocolates at Turndown. Those little things always help, don't they?
I think so. I mean, one of the things I've been preaching, both in restaurants and hotels, generosity. We all want to feel that we don't have to pay for every Coke. I remember there was a manager of a band who was staying here, and he said, "Are you Mr. King?" I said, "Yes, I want to talk to you." I thought, "Oh God, what's gone wrong?" And he said, "Minibar, no charge unless it's alcohol." Brilliant. He said, "I've been here a week, I've had 2 Cokes, I must have told 30 people." He said, "Nobody does that. And if you give things away, I'd like to give even more away. People are surprised, and that has been a big strength."
Now we're down here in the Colony Grill, and a really great brasserie style food here in the middle of London, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it was actually, the grill room phenomenon came around because people were trying to relax eating, because normally at the beginning of the 20th century you'd have to dress for dinner. And the American traveller, who was much more intrepid than most, was saying, I want to have decent food, but I don't want it formal, nor do I want 5 or 6 courses. So the grill room started, and it's a very transatlantic pattern. So you find on the menu here things which are very much of that period. The nice thing about it, of course, there's a big revolution in food, but I'm a great believer that you mustn't try and jump on bandwagons. There is a lot of people who want to eat very classic, traditional food as long as the ingredients are good and cooked properly. Because if you run after that bandwagon, I think it was A.A. Gill, the critic, said, be careful, because if you're not sure of your footing, you might fall flat on your face. So we're very classic here. But also because I think if you're a traveller, you come into town, and often all you want is a piece of grilled fish and a glass of wine and go to bed. You don't want a 5-course formal dinner. But restaurants and hotels is always the great conundrum, how the hell to do it.
So I'm not surprised then guests coming here thinking their parents had stayed here then.
Absolutely, it's and you know, we came down in the lift and you see all the photographs of people arriving in hotels, getting off boats. That was a glorious period of travel, of course, the 20s and 30s.
And Jimmy Beaumont had quite a few stories, obviously, didn't he?
He had quite a few stories. And it got last year even more interesting when Savile Row did 9 of the Savile Row tailors all created a wardrobe for Jimmy Beaumont, did what they imagined he would have worn casually, formally and so on, and it started to travel around. So where fact and fiction end, I don't know now, but it's for me it gives the important ingredients in any hotel or restaurant, and when people ask, they say, you know, what will make them great? Is it the location? Is it the design? Is it the chef? Is it what? And I always say 2 things: heart and soul. And heart and soul are difficult to define and difficult to find.
You're watching Best of Business Class on Sky News Business. You're watching Best of Business Class on Sky News Business.
One of the most amazing things to do in Rome is a walking tour. Now let's go on a journey with one of the city's best. Fulvio Bonus's company Imago Artis has been taking tours of Rome for over 20 years. Today he is showing us some of his favourite things to do in Rome if you've got a few spare hours in the city. Starting off by how all Romans do, with a coffee.
Ciao James, welcome to Rome. We are in front of the best cafeteria in Rome. Well, I would say the best coffee in the world. This is here since 1938, and as you know, Italian are addicted. You know, we have a huge addiction on coffee. And let me tell you, this is my 4th one. I'm gonna have at least had 4, 5 coffees, you know, with you probably. The coffee is so good because it's just very intense, you know, very short, you know, it's not, well, don't get me wrong, I'm so sorry for the American, it's not American, you know, it's not dirty water, we call, but it's very strong and it wakes you up, you know, and the taste is delicious. Here, the taste is completely different than other coffee shops because the ingredients are secret. That's what makes this place more appealing, you know, more interesting. This is my first stop every day, you know, walking around the city center. This is my first stop.
Now let's walk to one of the city's most iconic sites, the Colosseum.
Back in the old days, you know, it was used for entertaining, to keep people away from problems, the Roman problems for sure. Now we call wrongly this place Colosseum, but originally it was called amphitheater. The amphitheater means, you know, 2 theater placed one in front of the other one. You know, that's how you get the famous shape still using nowadays in every stadium. Your Majesty, you know, behind me, was built for the first time, was inaugurated 80 AD, but it was not inaugurated by the men who strongly want to erect this building, Vespasian. It was inaugurated by his son, Titus. The focus, the goal was keep everybody entertained. But how can you entertain almost a million people, a million citizens? You know? You keep this place open. They keep this place open for 2 to 3 months every day. Then almost every Roman citizen could come and see the show, the very big show, such as gladiator games, wild animal games. He made wild animal coming from Africa, import to Rome, and showcases to the spectators inside the Colossus, the Colosseum. Has been changed. The name has been changed into Colosseum after the colossal statue placed in front of one of the 80 entrances. But careful, because the statue depicts Nero, and Nero was the previous emperor. Passed away as a damned person, as a horrible emperor.
No journey to Rome is complete without a visit to the holiest city in the world, the Vatican.
Well, we are in a different country. Guess what? You know, we can see 2 countries in one day. 2 countries in one day. This is the second one is the Vatican City, the Pope's country. Since 1929, this became a state, a country run by the Pope, the Holy Father, the Holy Pope, who represents the new St. Peter, the current St. Peter. We had 266 Pope till now. The last one is Francis I. Francis I, an excellent, a brilliant Pope from Argentina. Well, everybody says from Argentina. I'm Italian, I have to say he's from Italy. And he's Italian 100%. Well, we are over here embraced by these fantastic columns, you know, realized by Gian Lorenzo Bernini, the inventor of the Roman Baroque. And up above the columns we have 140 saints. The basilica is the biggest church ever built. It took 120 years to have this done. On the left-hand side of the basilica we have this brick building, very simple honestly. That is the Sistine Chapel from outside. Inside looks grandiose, you know, inside looks incredibly decorated in fresco by Michelangelo and other people, of course, not just by Michelangelo, but outside looks like a fortress. Probably that's what it was supposed to be, a fortress to defend and protect the tomb of St. Peter. Because don't forget, behind underground the basilica, St. Peter's Basilica, we had Peter's tomb, the original tomb of the closest man to Jesus by the 1st century AD. You can see the dome. The dome has been realized first, and then the basilica after all.
Rome offers some of the world's most amazing food. Let's check into the Michelin-starred kitchen now at Il Giardino to find out more. What really defines Michelin-starred Italian dining, do you think, in 2018?
I think it's a lot of things. First of all, the consistency. So the quality need to be today, tomorrow. You cannot do a dish nice today, or the quality of the ingredient is beautiful today and tomorrow is not the same as today. So the consistency is really, really important. And then, you know, clients look for experience. So it's not a classic dish. So you need to, you know, keep the exciting dish and the message. My philosophy of cooking is based on 5 pillars. So you have innovation, the well-being, the ingredient, the flavor, and the art. So each point, it took me 24 years to get where I am today. So the innovation for me means knowledge. So we need to know what we're doing. Let's say I give you an example. All the vegetables we cook under pressure. So we preserve the nutrition side of the ingredients and then the color and the crunchiness. So it's really important to have the knowledge. It's not the mixing in ingredients and then it's finished. So you need to balance We need to take care about ourselves as well. So that's why the second point is the well-being. I think we need to take care about ourselves with, let's say, calories or how we treat the ingredients. I give you an example. If you wash the salad more than 30 minutes, you lose all the vitamins. So that's what is important for me as well. You know, it's like another example. People, they ask me why you put the ingredient as a third part of your philosophy. It's really simple. Let's get an extra virgin olive oil. So when we put it in the pan and we smoke it, so you know we destroy it. So the from the beginning you have vitamin E. So you have a lot of antioxidants in the oil, but you can destroy it in a second. So what's the point to have the best quality ingredient and then you destroy it in a second if you don't know what you're doing? And then the harmony, the flavors is really important. So if you're having, the crunchiness in a dish, the acidity, the harmony of these different texture is really important. It's really important. And then also the art. So we need to make it beautiful as well. The eye wants, we want to see something beautiful.
And when it comes to the produce at the moment, what ingredients are really popular at the moment or gaining traction for you?
But at the moment we have strawberries. I'm working on a dish with tomatoes, so I'm creating a dish with there is a variation of the tomatoes and my remembering. Because when I was a child, I was always eating tomatoes with the bread, so I'm creating a dish which where there is a selection of different tastes. So I'm doing ice cream, granita, kind of tomato soup, but it's very special. So I use a lot of technology to concentrate the flavors. So for me it's really important when you remove the greasy part and you remove the sugar from a dish, you have the, and then it is very hard to concentrate the flavors. So for me it's really important to concentrate it and to remove the extra, let's say, oil or to balance, to get the healthy concept as well.
Yeah, and you look at, Rome's got some very famous dishes, doesn't it?
Yes, so actually when I came in Rome in 2010, I want to create a dish with a local ingredient. So let's say there is a local dish very old, which is called the cacio e pepe, but I did it with a twist of modernity. So what it means for me. So for me, when you eat the classic one, it's very salty, it's very, the black pepper is very aggressive. So what I did, I balanced the pecorino cheese with the Parmigiano, so 60% of pecorino cheese and 40% of Parmigiano, and then the pepper, it's really it's hard to get the right one. So basically I was eating 2 months cacio e pepe myself. Finally I find this wild Madagascar black pepper, which is really wow. It's got a lot of compounds of flavors. So the first bite when I had this first trial, I stopped 3 seconds. I said, wow, that's the one. So it's on the menu, from 2010. That is a local dish, which I wanted to put in the gourmet restaurant, but with my twist.
High expectations of Romans coming to eat here that want really great local dishes?
Or the zucchini flour. So we have a lot of ingredients we can work with, very local. So especially all the vegetable we buy from an hour and a half from here. So on the Agripontino, on the seaside. So they are really fresh and like let's say the zucchini as well. So we have a lot of ingredients which are local. We try to always use the local ingredients and from the season.
Do you get a lot of requests of people coming here wanting just simple, beautiful Italian that they're used to in their home country?
Yes, we do. We do have a lot of requests. So let's say in a hotel we try to please everyone. So we start from the vegan, gluten-free. We can say, on a lot of menus we're doing in the room service. So we try to please really everybody, because nowadays I'm sure there is a lot of allergy. So the lactose. So what I did, the last 24 years, I was studying the human body as well, how we react, why we have some allergy. So like the lactose, because we cannot digest it, because we don't produce so many enzymes to digest the lactose. So that's for me is really important as well to please everyone.
Now it's time for a cocktail that's the taste of the city.
Buonasera, welcome at the Giardino Bar here in Roma at Hotel Eden. What we want to present to you today is our signature cocktail, which is called The Great Beauty, La Grande Bellezza. We named the cocktail after the Sorrentino movie because every day we play a different show today here at the bar. It's called the Sunset Show, and it's different every day. But one thing is still the same, is the beautiful purple color that comes onto Rome around the aperitivo time. So we want to celebrate both the sunset and the movie with a great cocktail. The base of this cocktail is a homemade infusion of a rosé aperitivo and some fresh tamarind. We're going to use a nice 70 ml of this. And then, in order to give some strength to the cocktail, about 20 ml of mezcal. And also we couldn't miss to bring some nice citrusy aroma with just a couple of dashes of mandarin bitters. We're now going to mix all the ingredients together. And now we're going to pour our cocktail in a champagne glass. Of course, we cannot miss the garnish, so we're gonna garnish the drink with a nice flower, like one that you can find on Sundays in the Campo dei Fiori market here in Roma. And that's for you, La Grande Bellezza. Salute!
You're watching Best of Business Class on Sky News Business. Welcome back to Best of Business Class.
Los Angeles offers some great hotels for both business and leisure travellers. Let's now check into some of our favourite spots across town, starting at one of my favourite places, the Fairmont Miramar Hotel and Bungalows in Santa Monica. Thanks so much for your time today. We're here in one of your beautiful bungalows. Tell us about this bungalow offering here in Santa Monica.
Well, there's something really unique about the bungalows in Southern California, and there's not many people that have the real estate to spread out and really enjoy what it's like to live a California lifestyle. So we have 32 bungalows here on property. Each one of them is unique in its layout and unique in its size. Everything from single rooms with a beautiful patio overlooking the gardens to two-story multi-bedroom suites.
Okay, when you look at sort of why business travelers stay here, what are some of the benefits, I guess, of not being in the busiest parts of LA?
Well, we're here in Santa Monica, which is the keystone of what we call Silicon Beach. So there are a lot of tech startups here. There are a lot of businesses that are based in this part of town. And people would rather stay and live and work locally when they come to Santa Monica than have a traditional big city work hotel experience. So that connection really drives a lot of the business we do. And also for people that travel from places that don't have a beautiful coastline like we do, the advantage of being down here is the peace and serenity of Santa Monica and the gorgeous views that we have from almost everywhere on property.
And if you look at that sort of the business hub down here, there's not a lot of really hotels apart from a couple down here in Santa Monica that actually can service that market.
No, there really are. So we're fortunate to have the facilities that can allow us to serve not only destination travelers, but business travelers and groups that are coming in to host meetings as well. And we've tried to build in what we call campus here in our 5-acre city block, the amenities that a frequent traveler would want to have to bring them the comforts of home. Things like our gym, which is a terrific indoor-outdoor facility, restaurants that cater to the local community, and a great bar, so that you can feel like you're really part of the local lifestyle as opposed to an obvious visitor.
And when it comes to the beaches down here, there's actually not a lot of hotels on the beach in Los Angeles.
There aren't, and we're on the bluffs overlooking the beach, which gives us, I think, a tremendous advantage being north of the pier, that we have gorgeous views on one side, north and up to Malibu, gorgeous views on the other side, south and looking down on the pier, and great access to the beach when you want it, and beautiful views of it when you'd rather just sit and enjoy that sunset.
And when it comes to the business traveller, Fairmont's obviously well known, that looks after business travellers very, very well.
We do. We have some great amenities across the brand, things like Fairmont Fit, which provides our Fairmont President's Club members with fitness attire, traveling sneakers for when you've just reached that carry-on limit where the sneakers are going to put you over. We can have all that fitness attire waiting for you and save you the hassle of packing that.
It's funny with some brands that go and have been adding this into it now. You've had this for some time at Fairmont.
We've done this for a long time. Fitness and well-being have long been cornerstones to how we look at programming the hotel, how we look at crafting restaurant menus, and how we look at making the business travel experience one that reflects the lifestyle most of our guests live in their regular lives.
Obviously down here there are a lot of great bars and restaurants in Santa Monica. Then how well do you guys do it, and how well do you have to do it then to be one of the best down here?
Well, you have to do it well to be competitive. You know, we've got a really well-educated and savvy local community, along with really well-educated and savvy business travelers, or travelers of any kind, really. And their expectation of a restaurant within a hotel is precisely that it's a great restaurant that happens to be in a hotel. Just being the hotel restaurant isn't enough, and we look at our restaurant as competing with name chefs, notable restaurants, and all other top culinary destinations, not necessarily other hotels.
And you don't have a name chef here, and I don't think you've actually had a name chef here, so how is that in this market where it is about a lot of name chefs at the moment?
Well, I think a lot of those name chefs have understudies that are really excited to show what they're capable of, and so we haven't gone out for that celebrity chef that is a name that comes to mind, across the country. What we have done is created an environment that breeds successful culinary talent and has bred chefs that have gone on to become name chefs outside of our hotel, and we're really proud of that legacy and what we've been able to achieve.
From the beach to downtown, here are some of our other favourite hotels in Los Angeles. Located in the super exclusive suburb of Bel Air, Dorchester Collection's Hotel Bel Air is one of the best hidden gems in Los Angeles. Here you'll find impeccable service, luxuriously appointed rooms and a charming atmosphere, thanks in part to the 1922 Spanish mission-style architecture. Each of the spacious and contemporary guest rooms features the finest decor and a range of innovative technology, from impressive Bang & Olufsen televisions to beautiful desks with integrated media hubs and iPads in every room. Here there are 45 suites to choose from, including one-of-a-kind signature suites that offer grand residential-style living areas, complete with large garden patios and fireplaces. When it comes to eating, Wolfgang Puck at Hotel Bel Air features modern California cuisine with European and Mediterranean influences in a beautiful garden setting. And don't leave without having a massage at the Spa by La Prairie. Over in Beverly Hills, one of the city's most spacious and luxurious hotels is the Beverly Hills Hotel, which recently played host to legendary actor Kirk Douglas's 100th birthday. The hotel is set on 12 acres of landscape gardens, and amongst that, you'll find 208 rooms and suites, including 23 amazing secluded bungalows that feature private porches, living rooms, and fireplaces. Several have been designed in honour of some of the world's most famous guests over the years, including Frank Sinatra, Elizabeth Taylor, and coming soon, one's in honour of Howard Hughes and Marilyn Monroe. The most exclusive bungalows offer grand pianos, private garden patios, and private outdoor showers and plunge pools. The Beverly Hills Hotel has several restaurants and bars, including the legendary Polo Lounge, which has an all-day signature menu, whether you're starting the day with a classic American breakfast or sipping on cocktails late into the night at the Polo Bar. Featuring sun-filled guest rooms with private balconies, a bar and lounge, swimming pool and brilliant day spa, Four Seasons Los Angeles at Beverly Hills is one of the top hotels in the famous Los Angeles neighbourhood. The hotel is home to 285 rooms and suites, which have been designed with Southern California in mind, and all of which feature iPads. While you're here, also make sure you book a table at Cialina, which serves up some classic Italian cuisine and features a brilliant wine list. Around on La Cienega Boulevard is the SLS Beverly Hills Hotel, a member of the Luxury Collection. which features 297 Philippe Starck designed guest rooms and suites that are ultra-modern and classically elegant, just what you'd expect in Beverly Hills. The hotel also has a couple of restaurants, including Tray by Jose Andre, a sophisticated and secluded sanctuary featuring cozy nooks, books and fireplaces. Tray serves up comfort food with a twist. Highlights from this all-day restaurant include daily afternoon tea and weekend brunch infused with Chef Andre's signature brand of creativity. Downtown, 2 new hotels have opened their doors in recent months and they are already gaining significant attention. Featuring the tallest open-air bar in the Western Hemisphere and the popular brand's newest rooms on the planet, InterContinental Los Angeles downtown has become a sky-high toast of California's most visited city. From the Sky Lobby located on level 70 to the bar on 73, everything in this 5-star hotel offers a unique perspective of Los Angeles that until now had to be enjoyed by visitors on an aeroplane descending into LAX airport. Must-dos here include cocktails at Spire 73, a Wagyu steak and a glass of Napa Cabernet in a private booth at French eatery La Boucherie, and freshly made sushi at Sora on level 69. There's also a pool, a gym and a brilliant Club InterContinental lounge which offers spectacular views of the city. Nearby on the vibrant corner of 7th and Olive Streets in downtown, the NoMad Los Angeles continues in the spirit of the original NoMad Hotel in New York, taking residence in a stunning historical building. The NoMad Los Angeles features 241 rooms and suites, plus a rooftop pool and gathering space overlooking downtown. The hotel houses the first restaurants and bars outside of Manhattan from chef Daniel Hum and restaurateur Will Guadara, the team behind the NoMad New York City and 11 Madison Park, which is currently ranked #1 on the world's 50 best restaurants list. Each of the 240 rooms, including 31 suites, looks to Italy for inspiration. The room's soft colour palette is drawn from the lobby's fully restored golden blue Italianate ceiling. All rooms and suites feature custom-designed furnishings and Bellino linens. In-room art programs from Paris-based design studio B-Poles, as well as large flat-screen TVs and many with freestanding pedestal bathtubs and separate water closets. Australian celebrity chef Curtis Stone has become one of the city's top talents here in LA. We sat down with him to talk about his restaurants, his favourite foodie spots and much more.
G'day, James. Well, listen, my favourite places to eat in LA are really quite varied. I've got a Korean mother-in-law, so she takes us to these dingy little spots in Koreatown which are delicious and fantastic. I don't really know the names of any of them, apart from one place, well, 2 places. There's one called Park's Barbecue, fabulous joint, pretty well known, and there's another joint called Chunky Wa. It's really delicious. It's like a Korean barbecue spot that you grill the meat right in front of you. There's a big Koreatown there, so there's lots of good Korean food. There's also incredible Mexican. But again, there's no names of restaurants that I can give you because the best Mexican in LA is literally little holes in the wall downtown or just from a van on the side of the street. There's a good one on Pico and Western. So if you go to Pico and Western after 9 o'clock at night, you'll eat fantastic tacos. And then there's good high-end restaurants. Michael Shimaruski has a place called Providence that I love. Melise, Josiah Citron is a chef that's down on the west side. Santa Monica. Rustic Canyon, another great restaurant down on the west side. And then if you're coming over, you've really got to come and eat at one of my places, either Maud in Beverly Hills or Gwen up in Hollywood. We've got a butcher shop at Gwen, so it's this cool sort of place where you walk in, there's whole animals hanging in the window, and then we cook beautiful meat over live fire. But there's all sorts of good food. It's a good time to eat in LA. Downtown used to be a horrible place to go and try and find something to eat, but now there's really good joints. From Bestia, which is sort of a bit of an all-rounder down there. There's a place called Coles, and then the Varnish, you walk through Coles, and then the Varnish is a little bar, but Coles do the original French dip sandwich, so it's a roast beef sandwich, and you get this like little thing of jus, this like beef sort of stock, and you dip your sandwich in the beef stock and eat it, and it sounds horrible, but it's really quite good. And then there's this cool cocktail bar in the back. Anyway, mate, I could talk about good places to eat in LA all day long, so go and hit a couple of those joints. Enjoy.
A trip to Los Angeles wouldn't be complete without visiting some theme parks. Here's a few ways to spend a thrilling day in LA. Los Angeles has one of the most vibrant shopping experiences to be found anywhere in the world. From here at the farmers markets to the Grove, the flea markets of Fairfax High, Rodeo Drive, Santa Monica Place and so much more. Right now, we're going to look at some of my favourite places in LA. The farmers market opened back in 1934 and it's evolved into a bustling operation with more than 100 vendors. It offers a massive range of American and international cuisines. It's definitely on my list of LA's must-see attractions, and here's some more. The J. Paul Getty Museum is one of my favourites. And it's also one of America's most visited art collections, with around 1.8 million visitors every year. Set aside an entire day and you won't even scratch the surface of this remarkable collection. What visit to Los Angeles wouldn't be complete without a day, or should that be 3, at some amazing theme parks. Disneyland is about an hour's drive out of the city in Anaheim. It's the granddaddy of theme parks and opened in 1955. Universal Studios Hollywood continues to push the boundaries in state-of-the-art rides and attractions. But opened in 1912 as a movie studio, the theme park came along 50 years later. A personal favourite is the California Science Center. There's interactive exhibits, demonstrations and movies. Plus, it's the permanent home of the Space Shuttle Endeavour.
You're watching Best of Business Class on Sky News Business. Welcome back to Best of Business Class.
Back here in Greece, Thessaloniki offers amazing history, incredible nature and an abundance of great food and wine. Here are some of my favourite things to do. Start off any adventure to the Greek port city of Thessaloniki with a guided tour of the city. Evidence still remains of Roman, Byzantine and Ottoman history throughout the city, especially around the upper town called Arnopoli. The ruins of Roman Emperor Galerius's 4th century palace include the rotunda that has been both a church and a mosque. Much of the city centre was destroyed in the Great Fire of 1917, and the rebuilt 20th century city has a modern European layout. Alongside the rotunda, other must-sees here include the 5th century church Hagos Demetrius. Here you'll find well-preserved mosaics and paintings, and the church is dedicated to Saint Demetrius, the city's patron saint. On the waterfront, the iconic Ottoman White Tower has a museum about the city's history, while nearby you'll find a plethora of bars and restaurants lining the ocean. A 45-minute drive from Thessaloniki is Vergina, and it's best known as the site of the ancient Aegae, the first capital of Macedon. It was there in 336 BC when Philip II was assassinated and Alexander the Great was proclaimed king. The ancient site was discovered in 1976, and an excavation unearthed the burial sites of many kings of Macedon. The Archaeological Museum of Vergina was subsequently built on the site. It houses all of the artifacts found in the area and is considered to be one of the most important museums in Greece. Now let's check into one of the best hotels in the region, the Eagles Villas. Eagles Villas is located just over an hour's drive from Thessaloniki in the region of Halkidiki. Alongside amazing views of the Aegean Sea, Eagles Villas is home to some of the best hotel rooms in the region. We caught up with owner Konstantinos Tornavoukis to find out more.
This is what the concept was from the beginning, to offer a huge piece of land with just 42 villas, a main building which offered the guests a spa, an indoor swimming pool, a fantastic gym, and all the comforts that you can have from hotel services, because it is adjacent to Eagles Palace, which has to offer another 4 a la carte restaurants for each taste. There is a fish restaurant, there is a steak, there is an Italian one, so the guest can have all these choices.
The hotel has been around for 40-something years.
Yeah.
But these villas are a year old and very popular, aren't they?
They are very popular because what we thought is when we wanted to make this investment is not to make another room type. We wanted to make an independent hotel within the area of Eagles Palace, and to offer the guests of the villas, which are guests that they want plenty of room, because the villas are, we have the junior villas, we have the 1-bedroom and the 2-bedroom villas, which are for families of 2 and families of 4, which is an accommodation that we don't offer in the Eagles Palace Hotel. So now this is what makes the villas unique, that there is plenty of space. As I was telling you before, there is privacy, and you can enjoy all the services that Eagles Palace offers.
And great food and wine.
And great food and wine, especially we have a wine list of about 200 labels of wine, covering all the areas of Greece mainly, and also some labels from abroad.
And what's the perfect length of a stay here?
I think that most of our guests stay for a week, but some people are staying also for 2 weeks. But the ideal is a week.
And so if you look at some of the activities to do around here, there's plenty of water sport based activities, isn't there?
Yes, we are, this place, this peninsula of Mount Athos, it's unique for the water sport facilities and the water activities. Also for children, we are offering a kids club with all the water sports. The children can enjoy for a week and taste all the motorized and non-motorized water sports. They can even start to learn diving. It's called bubble making. They can go to the island, which is just 2 miles from the hotel, with a speedboat, and they can snorkel there. It's something that it's really unique.
So very much an emerging destination as far as Greece is concerned, because everyone usually goes to the islands or Athens, don't they?
Yes, it is just 100 kilometers from the airport of Thessaloniki, with so many direct flights. And it's offering all that an island can offer, plus that it's very comfortable to reach this destination.
While you're in the region, we also recommend booking a room at IKOS Oceania, a luxurious all-inclusive resort that features nautical-style rooms and suites, several pools, and 5 restaurants. Here there's also a private beach that comes complete with an all-day waiter service, bringing refreshing snacks, food and drinks at no extra cost. Also find several bars, a nightclub and a theatre that puts on some spectacular shows. Back in Thessaloniki, book a room at the Makedonia Palace Hotel. It's located on the water and a short walk from the White Tower. Here you'll find some well-designed rooms and suites, plus a bar, restaurant and an outdoor pool. Well, that's it from us in Thessaloniki. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time.